Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio, everybody. What is going on? It is Gale Riot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freeze video. And today, we're going to be doing a community reaction to the announcement that was made earlier today about the fact that Danmachi Memoria Freeze is no longer going to be adding any new story events after the 6th anniversary. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering, Gale, what the hell are you talking about? What is this news piece you're talking about and this announcement you're talking about? Go check out the video that I dropped earlier today. There was this huge announcement that basically Danmimo is no longer going to be adding any new original stories or outfit stories to the game once the 6th anniversary is done and dusted. So of course, this was some massive news in the morning. It's my best performing video, which is unfortunate because it's bad news, and I hate the fact that bad news always gets traction, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, we got a lot of traction going on and a lot of people are talking about it. So I thought, you know what we're going to be doing in this video is that I'll be going through the comment section of my video, and then we're also going to be going to the 3 subreddits: the Gacha Gaming subreddit, the Danmimo subreddit, as well as the Danmachi subreddit, the main Danmachi subreddit. I've already gone through some of the Twitter posts under the Twitter post of the Danmachi Memoria Freeze English account, as well as the JP account. We went to the Twitter replies. So of course, if you want to check out the earlier video today, I'll be leaving a thing in the top right for you guys to click on so that you guys can go and see it for yourself. But I go into a lot more detail in that video, so be sure to check it out, of course. Now, of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, remember to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freeze content, and leave a comment down below if you haven't given your thoughts already, or if you want to reply to one of the comments I make in this video. Feel free to put it in the comment section down below. I will be replying to a lot of the comments in this video specifically, because technically what I'm doing is I'm basically replying to your comments in the video itself. So let me know in the comment section so I can reply to you directly underneath. Now, before we get in, a lot of people are a little bit confused exactly what this announcement is saying. A lot of people are getting very confused. I've seen like articles by KyoApp who are completely getting it wrong. Basically, what they're saying in this notice, right, before we get into the comments and everything, what they're saying in this notice is that they're no longer going to be doing any new story content after the 6th anniversary. However, there's still going to be ranking events, so War Games, Record Buster, Familia events, they'll all still be there for the foreseeable future. They are going to be making new units, so there will be Hero Festas, there will be seasonal units potentially, right? Just like how we had the Christmas units for the Volume 11 adaptation, right? Return of the Hero. We had Christmas units in Part 1. Something similar to that is my belief potentially. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Hero Festas for the anniversary reruns, because they are also going to be rerunning all the old events, including the long anniversary tales as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting like a Festa Argonaut and Fina, or a Festa Vesta. It sounds really weird of me saying that, but a Festa Vesta and a Festa Bell from the 4th anniversary, maybe a Festa Lafia and Eyes from the Grand Day event, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something along those lines potentially, right? We are also going to be getting campaigns as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they drop some campaigns featuring like lottos or something like that. So there will still be content on the game, and that will happen at least until, I want to say, the next fiscal year starts. So that would be around March to April in Japan. I think until then, this game is going to be alive. So this game is still going to be alive for the next 10 months at the very least. That is the prediction that I have personally. And based on what they've written, that's what it looks like. Now, of course, that does mean that, we know that the, game is at, death's door, basically. We know it's there, but we still have access to the game for at least the next 10 months, in my personal opinion. So don't worry, the game's not shutting down in September. The anniversary is going from June to September, but they have confirmed that, after the anniversary is done, we're going to be rerunning a lot of the anniversaries and stuff like that. So after the anniversary, the game is still going to be alive. So don't worry, there's still going to be content coming to the game. Yes, it's going to slow down. Yes, the interest in the game will probably slow down quite tremendously. People will stop spending on the game, which makes sense, of course, right? But the game will still be alive. You'll still be able to access the game, you'll still be able to access the stories and all that jazz until they officially shut it down in the next couple of months after the anniversary ends, is my guess. So let's take a look at the comments of my video now. Let's take a look. So Okay, first highlighted comment is from Weird. Weird is obviously a well-noted member of the Don Mimo community because he data mines the game regularly, right? So let's see what he says here. I have seen a lot of positive feedback on the soft EOS announcement in Discord. I agree. I think the fact that they made this announcement, yes, some people felt like, but it kind of kills the hype of the anniversary. Maybe they could have done this after the anniversary, right? But I feel like it kind of sets it up as well really well, right? Because one, it lets players know what's the status of the game, because a lot of people were speculating, was it going to die? We were looking at the numbers, right, that the game was generating, which I will still admit, right, the numbers that they were making based on the data that we had was far better than some other gacha games, to be quite honest. And I'm surprised that maybe, it was a combination of various factors, of course, right? I think some of the factors included Omori Sensei just writing way too much for all these series that he's doing with Don Mimo. He did main series Danmachi, Sword Oratoria. Along with that, he's doing Wistoria. Then Danmachi Battle Chronicle will come. He'll probably help with that. Then we have the new Danmachi game coming as well by NeoWiz and Gree. He's gonna get spread very, very thin. And I mean, he's been writing a light novel every month for the last 8-9 months minimum, if not longer than that. Of course, we know he was working on the Astrea Record light novels for a very long time, so he's been working on all these novels for a very long time, and making him work on Don Mimo as well doesn't make any sense. And it's probably one of the reasons why we also saw such a slowdown in the content that we were getting, because it wasn't supervised by Omori Sensei anymore, and they realized that we can't have that happening to the game. And of course, things like, for example, obviously we saw that Line came back alive in the Dan Mimo continuity, which was really weird and stuff like that. So I guess that's why they wanted to go for that last hurrah, basically, for the game. Let's take a look here. If the devs just started rerunning all the stories starting from launch, I would be happy, but I'm not sure if I would keep playing. Although I have only been playing for the past 2 years to do the data mine and participate in familiar events, basically, which makes sense. I understand that. I think it's fine to play. I know some people have been asking. Some people wanted to jump back into the game because of the anniversary and now are like confused whether or not they should download the game. And I understand, because it's a time investment, right? Because you'll invest your time in working on these units and, getting these units and all that jazz, only for them to just disappear in 10 months time, right? Which will be very, very weird. But I think that, still playing the game maybe casually, I don't see a reason why that's a bad thing. Yes, the game is going to end in 10 months time, 11 months time, whenever it ends next year, right? But I think the core point being here, in my personal opinion, and the point I'm trying to make here, is that you're still going to be enjoying a series that you have followed for a very long time. You're a big Danmachi fan. You're still going to be able to enjoy the content that they're going to bring out. You're going to also be able to enjoy the content that they're going to rerun as well in the coming months as well, right? Maybe stories that you completely forgot about, right? For example, I'm pretty sure I've forgotten about some stories, and I would like to revisit some stories before the game ends. More specifically, I think it was the 2018 Christmas story or 2017 Christmas story. No, it was 2018 Christmas story that I really want to experience again, and I'm going to get the opportunity if they do rerun it, or if I just, I'm able to go into the story digest and actually read it for myself once again before the game shuts down, of course, right? And those are things I like to see and I want to do before the game ends, for sure. So yeah, I agree. I agree with Weird what he's saying, but yeah, I do believe that you'll still keep playing, but very casually is my guess. Terry Phil came for the Don Mimo state because of you. Even though even I, who started playing Don Mimo just 2 months before, feel extremely sad about it, I will continue my gacha path regardless of the future of Don Mimo, and I will keep supporting one of my favorite gacha streamers. Thank you so much, Terry Fail. I really, really appreciate that. That's not something I was expecting to read under the comments of my video. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna still do Danmachi stuff for sure, right? If you're sticking with Don Mimo and you're sticking with Danmachi, of course, in the coming months, we're definitely gonna be doing a lot more Danmachi stuff, right? Especially we're gonna be doing a lot of like Danmachi Battle Chronicle stuff. Whenever the new game drops, we'll do that. And of course, for Danmachi Memoria Freeze, we're definitely going to be sticking around and doing the anniversary. We're gonna be doing the reruns, whatever new units they bring out. You expect breakdowns as always. Shiryu summons. We're gonna have a ball. We're gonna enjoy the next couple of months to the fullest. We're gonna enjoy it as much as we can. There's no reason to be sorrow about it or anything. Let's end this run. Let's end these 6 years, 7 years, however long it's been, with a blast. Let's end it with a blast, 100%. Christian W says here, all good things must come to an end. Hopefully they have all these stories archived so people can enjoy them even after the game eventually closes. I guess Hero Festas were a last ditch effort to make money. Well, okay, let's start off break by break. I agree, all good things must come to an end. It's inevitable. At a point, some games have also outlasted their stay. You know, you can name so many different gacha games and games in general that have done that, of course, in the past as well, right? And then I agree with the fact that I would love to see them archive the stories somewhere. It would be amazing if they put it all on their YouTube channel, or if, you know, one of us in the community does so. I want to definitely do it, but I may need some help from people to kind of collate everything together, because it's a very hard process. Because I remember when I was doing some of the event stories on my channel, right? I would have to leave my BlueStacks or I think it was Nox Player running, and I would literally screen record it, and I would go to sleep, wake up, edit it down, because I've been sleeping for like 5-6 hours. The story's like 3.5 hours long, and then cut it basically. So I might have to do something like that again, basically, where I record a entire story arc, take it down, and then edit it down, make it clean and everything, and upload it again. So it's going to be a lot of effort, but I hope that they make our lives easier and they upload it themselves. It would be amazing. And I agree that Hero Festas were definitely a last ditch effort to make money, for sure, and they did make money. I mean, it did seem noticeable that they were getting an increase in money when the Hero Festas dropped. I remember when we looked at the Japanese data, it looked like there was a huge spike up, basically from going from effectively the November/October gacha banners to then the Hero Festas. They got like I think it was 100 million yen or something like that for that month or something. It was crazy. It was a good amount of money they were making, basically. So yeah, I think that they were definitely a last ditch effort to make money, and they were making money, and they'll still make money in the coming months with Hero Festas, because at the end of the day, even though the game is effectively reaching its end of service, people will still try and collect as many units as possible, because we're all addicts, basically. We love to collect these PNGs, baby. All right. Let's take a look at Thalion Duo. If I had to point out one flaw, honestly, this game simply could have been a lot bigger than it was if they marketed the game better. The gameplay and universe is one of the best there is. I know a lot of people get turned away from the anime because of its title, but with the game, I feel like they really had a chance to not only get people into the series, but also showcase simply how great the Danmachi world truly is. I think marketing was definitely a big flaw with Danmimo, for sure, right? I think for the longest period of time, I think, you know, it was a good idea that they had Crunchyroll at the start, but the moment WFS took over, there was not much that they could do. I mean, if you take a look at some of WFS's other games, I'm not gonna lie, marketing wise, WFS has not done a great job with any of their games. I feel like Slime Isekai Memories barely gets marketed at all. I don't get marketed Slime Isekai Memories whatsoever to me, and I'm a huge anime/gacha guy, but I barely see any talk about that game, right? And I feel like that's just one of WFS's big issues with their games. Like, if you even compare it directly to what Aiming Inc. is doing with Battle Chronicle, yes, they delayed the game and everything, but I think they handled it brilliantly with the letter and everything, and the fact that they're still making sure that the marketing campaigns are still going on with the Hololive streamers and everything. It's so good. I think they're doing a fantastic job there. But then you compare it to WFS, it's not been the same. So I definitely agree. I think there could be they could do a long way to go when it comes to the marketing. Unfortunately, you know, they can't do much right now, but I agree, the marketing was definitely one side. I do think the other side is the gameplay side. I agree the gameplay is good, but when it came to the game modes, the contents, I think there could have been a lot much more done with that, basically. I think they could have gone more outside the box and tried to get stuff done. The problem is, whenever they've tried to go outside the box, stuff like Grand Familia Battle, Telskira Abyss, so on and so forth, they've always made a mistake, and that's never really gone the right way. I remember when they removed Rampage in favor of something else, and obviously it didn't really go down too well. So yeah, I think that's something. I think Rampage got removed in favor of Dispatch Quests, which, I mean, I like Dispatch Quests, don't get me wrong, but that should have been an additional thing on top of Rampage, right? Some of you guys probably don't know what Rampage is, but it was this massive PvE event, basically, where you could get the materials for crafting and stuff from, basically, one of the crafting materials quests, basically. So yeah, that's just unfortunately something that happened, basically. In games like Epic 7, I could care less for the story, especially event ones, but Danmachi is one of the few games with stories actually worth reading. This is also one of the best free-to-play experiences I've ever had in a gacha games, and the collabs they did were awesome. Sadly, I can only dream of this game being more popular and we get even more collabs and it lasts for at least 4 more years, but I guess everything comes to an end, eventually, even the good things. Absolutely. It's unfortunate that this is happening, but the fact that it lasted this long is an achievement. Absolutely. 6 years is nothing to scoff at, you know. There are some games like Dragalia Lost that barely lasted 3 years, you know, and there were games that were backed by big companies like Cygames and Nintendo. So, you know, if they could die very, very easily, and so many other gacha games have done the same, the fact that Danmimo's lasted 6 years is brilliant, in all honesty. I started playing in the third anniversary, and boy, it's amazing. All the stories has been great, but nothing lasts forever. Just hope that Battle Chronicle will continue on for as long as Danmimo does. Hopefully, all the stories and events are archived. I really love this game, even though I started just 2 months ago. I lost my first anniversary account. I'm really heartbroken. I just hope the new games have original stories and have the casual playstyle of Danmimo. Hopefully the new one by NeoWiz and Gree is, because I feel like Danmachi Battle Chronicle isn't necessarily going to be that with its action RPG style gameplay, right? But I do think that, you know, if they can nail the second game, it'll be brilliant. But I do agree, I would love to see the new games having the original stories as well. Maybe even if it isn't with Omori Sensei, I think they need to kind of, for the next couple of games, maybe it might be a good idea to probably not have Omori Sensei as active for a majority of the year, maybe, because I understand that they can't get him for everything, right? It's practically impossible to make him work on everything because he's already working on so many other things, like I said at the start of the video, right? But if they can maybe do a good job in getting him for like the anniversaries, maybe, and then maybe the rest of the stuff is just, you know, done in-house, I think that's probably the best way to go. But we'll have to wait and see. This is really sad. Hopefully the story survives. If the game ends service, an archive or offline version of the story digest would be very nice. Honestly, something like Memory Defrag would be great. Hopefully one of the new games will be able to pick up the slack with continuing the Sword Art Story adaptations, etc. Though it might take a while to catch up. That's the one thing I feel like it's gonna be a bit of a unfortunate situation where Sword Art Story 11 is ending on a effectively cliffhanger, and then we've not gotten Sword Art Story 12. Now, we don't know necessarily if we will still not get Sword Art Story 12's adaptation, because technically it's not an original story. It's something that's already present. All they need is the voice actors and confirmation from Omori Sensei that it's good to go, kind of thing. But we don't know. We don't know the situations. If it's possible, please upload a playthrough of the events, including outfit stories and side stories, which other YouTubers have not done. I know it's a big task, but these stories must be archived. I will try my best. Like I said, it's not easy. There are some people like Gacha Ampus and Mediocre who have content from the games from the last couple of years, so you can go check them out. But in terms of a complete archive, I will try my best. It's not going to be easy, but I will try my best. I'm playing this game since the 5th anniversary. It is so sad this is finally happening. Let's hope that, or let's fingers crossed that the next Danmachi game contains story like Danmimo written by Omori Sensei. Like I said, I don't think it'll be necessary if they go for Omori Sensei, but hopefully it has original stories for sure. I knew it'll come sooner or later, but this news hits me really hard. God, it feels like watching our loved ones leaving and can never see it again forever. The best thing I can do now is spend it with my time with it until its final moments. I mean, absolutely, exactly. It's one of those things where you kind of have to just enjoy it till it lasts. Like I said, celebrate the fact that it lived this long and enjoy the fact that the game is, you know, going to live for at least 6.5 years. You know, it's gonna be great. Damn it, I just picked up back up and came back to the game back during the second or third annie. When I started it, it was one of the best gacha games I've played, and it makes me sad that there will no longer be new stories and the end of the game is near. But you know, all good things must come to an end, and pretty much everybody's saying the same thing. If you record and make a new channel, I will watch everything. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate them being forthcoming for their plans so that players can make a decision about spending. Absolutely, I think that's one of the good things. You know, players aren't going to be forced to spend. They know now. You know, they've told the players, like, look, this is the situation. We're basically confirming the fact that the game will end its service inevitably. We're not dead yet, but we are ending service inevitably. If they were shutting down, they would have said that, you know, we would stop all people from buying Iris and stuff like that, because that's what gacha games usually do. Like, if you take a look at Cross Historia, for example, right? They said at the start in March itself, when we got the announcement that at the end of March they would stop payments from happening, and then in April the shutdown will happen. That hasn't been announced yet, right, for Danmimo, so that's good. It's been a ride. We'll miss this game. It's sad knowing that this is the last big event. If it is Volume 12, I need to catch up on 10 books. I don't think it's Volume 12, to be quite honest. Volume 12 is only one novel, and usually the anniversaries are effectively 3 or 4 parts long, and especially this one is going from June to September. This is the longest the anniversary has ever been. Technically, the 4th anniversary is also June to September, but that was because they delayed some of the events because of the fact that COVID was happening at the time. this is the longest natural anniversary to happen. So I don't see it being volume 12. I think it's a big event, but I don't think it's volume 12. Just woke up to this video. What a good way to start my day. Can relate, Luna. Can relate. Zuvon says, oh my god, we got a lot of comments here. Okay, Zuvon, this sucks. Even though I've only been playing the game since the 5th Annie, I've made a lot of friends and memories thanks to it. Absolutely. I know so many people because of Danmachi Memoria Freeze. I have so many people to thank because of Danmachi Memoria Freeze as well. You know, people that I've met like Zero, Technia, and then of course the people I've met along the way, Mike, you know, Foud, so on and so forth. These guys know their names. Big shout outs to them. These guys are people I've known for a very long time, and I, you know, credit where it's due. It has been a blast. Absolutely. I've spent a lot of time into it, so it almost feels like a part of my day is going to be empty once the end of service arrives. And surely after the 6th anniversary service, like the EU will, he's saying that he will be one of the very few ones that will stay remaining playing this game. That's another thing as well. I think that the moment the anniversary is over, I expect to see a mass exodus by a lot of players, especially because at the end of the anniversary, we will also see a Battle Chronicle be officially live at that point, unless there are further delays, which, knock on wood, there's no more further delays. But basically, yeah, the idea is that, you know, a lot of people will probably leave after the 6th anniversary. I would implore people don't leave after the 6th anniversary because there's still going to be content coming to the game, but I understand why if people will. So yeah, I'm hoping SO12 at least gets adapted before shutdown of new content. I agree. I think they need to adapt SO12 because they can't leave SO11 on a cliffhanger. That would be so weird. After 6 years of accompanying our journey, this game has finally collapsed in the midst of competition in the world of gachas. Yes, the gacha scene is way too competitive now. It's crazy. I feel like this game was so important to Danmachi in general. It's like I don't know if I will be able to connect with the history like I was with these past 5 years. I just know as much as I know about the series is because of this game. So I'm wondering if I'm going to grow apart from the series. That's very interesting to say the least. Honestly, that is very, very interesting perspective, because yeah, I mean, Danmimo is such an integral part of the Danmachi lore, especially when it comes to the anniversaries and some of the other content, right, that it drops in the game, the side stories we get during the season releases, the, you know, adaptations of the Sword Oratorius light novels, right? It's such an integral part of the series, and like, if this goes away and there's nothing to, you know, follow up on it, what's gonna happen in the future, you know, what's gonna happen? So yeah, that was a fun ride, y'all. Really hope if the game really comes to an end, they make an offline version like how SAO Memory Defrag did. Absolutely. My bad, every time I pick up something it dies. Had a good couple of months though. We'll still have more couple of months. That's sad. Festa Aphrodite. Well, I'm gonna play Danmimo till the end. Absolutely, fair enough. No, my bad feelings predicted the future. How could they screw this up? All my character stories, character interactions with my waifus, and how could I not forget my view? Man, this is so messed up. Look, all I have to say is that they have to do better. I've been playing this game. Why it gotta end like this? I mean, they've done the best they can, to be quite honest. If you know, if they don't feel comfortable with it, it's just how it is, you know. If they feel like they're not gonna do a good enough job, you know, they're feeling that they're very restricted, they can't do the best job they can as they have. This has been a big passion project, you know. Like, I swear, in between the 4th and the 5th anniversary, they've probably been at their lowest, and then this year they managed to come up a little bit, you know, with everything that's happened and everything. And you know, season 4's you know, how good season 4 was, the hype after season 4, generally what Danmimo was doing as well in terms of the content was pretty decent. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I was here since season 1. This hits hard. I thought I like this anime and there's this new game. I would be able to spend a lot of time on this game throughout the day, and it's been about 5 hours. Got to do the war games. The first time I go to the anniversary, and also the last time. Damn. I blame you, Gail. Just made me feel safe seeing the metrics of how much JP made, and then this happened. You caused this. And listen, I couldn't predict it, man. I thought it was gonna be fine. I knew that we were on the knife's edge. I've been saying since we found out about that second Danmachi game being made by Neowiz and Gree, who, by the way, Gree is the parent studio to WFS, by the way. The moment we saw Gree was working on another Danmachi game, I was like, that makes me feel like Danmimo is also on the edge as well, to be quite honest, because it's very rare for an IP to have 3 different gacha games. Most IPs have either, you know, end of service some of their gacha games to only have 2, or, you know, they've even gone down to 1 sometimes, right? So I would have been shocked if Danmimo would have lasted more than the next year, to be quite honest, because I expect that new game to come out next year. So Battle Chronicle this year, the new Danmachi gacha game by Neowiz and Gree next year. And I knew that this game was probably on its last legs, and I thought Annie 7 would be its last, you know, big hurrah, basically. But it seems like it's earlier than that, unfortunately. But we still can expect to reach near to the 6th, 7th anniversary, so I was nearly right, basically. It's been a good 2 months. Damn rip. Also, this could be SO12. I'm sad. My favorite game on mobile. Dang, I just got here. Oh man, very very sad. It's very very sad, unfortunately, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, if you guys want to leave your own thoughts down below in the comments, leave it in this video's comments as well. Let's go over to the Reddit and let's see what the Gacha Gaming subreddit first and foremost has to say. Danmachi Memoria Freeze will launch its last event on its 6th anniversary, and after that the game will only have reruns of past events. End of an era, but 6 years is a good run. There was so much good canon content that came from the game's events. Definitely one of the more successful anime IP gacha games, despite it never being super popular. Absolutely agree. It's probably because Danmachi Battle Chronicle is coming out soon and they want to focus their resources on that, or maybe the author is busy writing the light novels and he can't provide new stories for the game anymore. Either way, I feel a bit sad about this news because I love the game so much when I was playing it, hoping the final event will be so good it won't be forgotten easily. I don't think it'll be forgotten easily. I think, personally, as a big fan of Danmachi, and I think if you're a fan of Danmachi, you'll never forget about Danmimo. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be like Aurario Rapsodia or Cross Historia. I feel like this is a game that will be forever memorized in Danmachi fan base, in the Danmachi fan base. That being said, though, I don't necessarily think it's because of Battle Chronicle. I do think maybe it's a small part of it, but I do think generally as well, it's more so based on that next game and along with the fact that Omori is too busy writing novels. I genuinely believe it's those two things. But yes, the company that is making Battle Chronicles is the one making Eminence in the Shadow. Honestly, I don't have much hope for that story. That's that's not very inspiring. But let's see. It's about money. It's always about money. I kind of disagree with that. Because otherwise we would have probably seen the game die a couple of months ago. To be quite honest, I'm not gonna lie. If not a year ago. People will stop spending money after this. Most likely, not as many people will spend money, but I think some people will. They do say they're gonna keep releasing units, so it'll limp along, like Choco Blue says right here. Makes sense. There's a Familiar Rush event happening, and my guild is ranked 143 with only 3 of the 30 members participating, and we're only on D3 of it. Think the Hero Festas were their Hail Mary and they backfired. I stopped pulling on every banner other banner than it's since they started because they were so much more busted than the other released units. I don't think it was a it was a Hail Mary, and I don't think it was a bust because they still are making big money from the Hero Festas primarily, as well as other units as well, if you take a look at the data that we have, right? But I do believe that, maybe it wasn't enough. Maybe they had to look at the grand scheme of things and the landscape, and they realized it wasn't it. In terms of the Familiar Rush event happening and the lack of players, I mean, we know that the population of the servers in the West especially aren't that great, especially in EU, for example, right? It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. We just don't have the population for it. Even Japan is only around 20,000 plus members right now. So yeah, that's just how it is, sadly. As a Dragalia Lost player, I've raised a toast to this game 6+ years. I completely understand the feeling of knowing you'll see an EOS on the horizon at some point. It's great when the devs give some early signs of this to adjust to the news. And it's difference between, of course, how Dragalia Lost ended and Precone EN ended. Here's hoping to the game lives another year. I think it'll last, like I said, till May or April, but yeah, 10 months, close to a year. So let's continue. Scroll down. Oh my god, I'm here. How did I end up here? Damn, sorry, Gil, right? Am I famous now? Am I famous? I put that butterfly image here. Am I famous? A mention in Gacha Gaming subreddit. Am I famous? But no, don't forget about Raptors Delight. Shout out Pilk as well, the other Danmimo creator, of course, on YouTube. I'm such a mix of emotions. I don't even know what to do after the 6th anniversary. I feel sad. This was one of the games I enjoyed the most and played it actively for years. Well, I guess I will ride it out until they close at this point. Absolutely. Let's scroll down a bit as well. Let's scroll down and see what else we have. This answers why the new gacha has been delayed. They're going to bring it out with old content until eventual EOS and then concentrate on the new one. Yeah, sort of. I think that's a good way to put it as well. Another gacha parasiting on anime IP dies. Surprise. This one lasted 6 years, so I don't know if it's parasiting considering it worked really well so far. Okay, that's a dickhead talking about HSR for some reason. No idea why. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just talking about, the fact that, they should probably go down the memory defag routes and, it's done well, in terms of being lasting this long and all good things come to an end and stuff like that. I think it's a good thing that everybody is very much like appreciative of the fact that, okay, we're finally resting a soldier to, peace, basically. We're resting him to peace. He's happy. He's lived a good life. we're gonna carry on with it. That's, I think, a good thing. So let's go over to the r/Donmachi subreddit, the main Donmachi subreddit. This is not the Donmimo Reddit. But yeah, well, crap. That's the end of the SO adaptation then. Yes, unfortunately, that's the end of the SO adaptation. It's kind of unfortunate, but I guess it also makes sense why they dropped short-haired Lafia. Maybe this was planned for the last couple of months, and because of like I said, it was a shock that we got Sword Art Autoria 13 Lafia, the short-haired Lafia in game. I was so surprised when we got it. I was like, really? We're getting her in game? On the release of Sword Art Autoria 13, we got her, and it was crazy. But I guess it makes sense now because they realized we're not going to be able to make Sword Art Autoria 13 potentially. We're not going to be able to do that, sadly, and as a result, it's a GG. The anniversary is SO12. I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think it's unlikely. Is it? It says completely new stories, which means to me that any story where the outline or dialogue has not already been shown elsewhere. I mean, that's also possible. They did say that, in the letter, there would be no new stories, which means that technically they could do something with Sword Art Autoria 13, 12, and 14, I guess, right? Maybe, but who knows? I don't think they're going to touch the main series. They've never done that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sword Art Autoria 12, 13, and 14 maybe down the line. Maybe. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we had a good run, gentlemen. We had a good run. I kind of accepted this, that when Cross Story shut down and Battle Chronicle started, that there needs to be only one large gacha game. Nevertheless, Danmimo has allowed to expand the Danmachi universe and so on and so forth. I think the thing is, right, you can have two gacha games in the same market, but I get what he's saying here as well, Itachi2974. I get what they're saying here, because the fact is, the matter is, Danmachi is a much more niche anime and franchise compared to like a Bleach or a Naruto or a Dragon Ball, right? Who can run multiple IPs at the same time, multiple gachas with the same IP at the same time, because they are that big, right? So yeah, I'm gonna miss everyone. I'm gonna miss everyone too, but we still got time. We still got time, and we got more games to play for sure, for sure. I'm sad we'll have no more Danmachi content. Always thought it was fantastic way to go in deeper with the lore and flesh out the world of Danmachi. On the other hand, I'm happy that Amori is not working himself to death. Absolutely, I think it's good. We have to obviously acknowledge the fact that these authors and writers in Japan, they slog their rears off. Honestly, they slog their rears off to get content out to us, and they work themselves to the death. So it's great to give him some freedom and some time off. Again, that's why I say for Battle Chronicle, I wouldn't mind if a lot of the stories are in-house outside of like the anniversary stories. I'm guessing it's going to be SO12 adaptation. If it's true, it's going to be waste. I don't think so, personally. People are saying it's going to be Zeus and Hera. Well, a lot of people are suggesting it's most likely Albert and Arya, which I wasn't expecting, to say the least, to be quite honest. I think it's still going to be Zeus and Hera, personally, but we'll have to wait and see. It would make sense if they go Albert and Arya, because it's the big finale, just all in, make it the last straw, make it something the Danmachi fans are excited about, honestly, but we'll have to wait and see. I think a lot of people are saying Zeus and Hera. Danmimo needs to go on vacation. Fujino Mori had it a lot. Maybe because of the new game too. A lot of people are a bit confusing. 2 withered roses, 1 sword, and a pen with ink dripping. What does this mean? A newly written story or continuation of previous anniversary? Says it's a story of consequences. I assume either Zeus's and Hera's failed quest against the dragon, or Fel's backstory. The 2 roses could represent Zeus and Hera familia. I think so as well. I think that would make a lot of sense as well. That's a very good shout as well. But yeah, a story of consequences and a large scale event. What other one would it be apart from, the one-eyed black dragon making his official appearance in Danmimo, along with the Zeus and Hera familiars, Maxime, Empress? It'll be fantastic. It'll honestly be brilliant. But yeah, some people are saying Arya and Albert. We'll see. I'm curious to see what the story will be. Let me know in the comments, who do you guys think it'll be, Zeus and Hera or Arya and Albert? I'm hoping it's not SO12. I'm fingers crossed it's not SO12. But yeah, let's see. I can't help but wonder if this is because of Danmachi Battle Chronicle. Maybe Omori Sensei is choosing to write events for that game instead. Release timeline would make sense. Either way, it sounds like they're going at least out with a bang. I can't wait to see what the 6th and final anniversary is going to be. The JP players sounded fairly understanding. So yeah, we're going to learn more in a stream. Yeah, we're going to learn more in tomorrow's stream as well. Yes, we'll be learning in tomorrow's stream. I will be live for that stream, so don't worry about that. But yes, we will see. But yeah, everybody is pretty much saying the same thing. And yeah, I think overall, I think the community has been very, very understanding. And I think it's been a sort of day of acceptance. Yes, a lot of people have been sort of like annoyed at the fact that it's been announced before the anniversary, or alternatively it's just been a case of where, you know, people are frustrated at the fact that, you know, it's ending, even though it looks like everything is going upwards for Danmachi. You know, the season 4 stuff, the release of Hero Festas, the content and everything's been good. But I mean, like everybody has also been saying, and like I said on my Twitter account, all good things must come to an end eventually, and I am going to be writing it out absolutely. Again, like I said, whenever there's going to be new units or campaigns or streams or whatever they do in the future, I will be there. We will be there. We will be there for sure, and I'm going to be covering every single bit of it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.